What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Evercast, your weekly dose of Evercade goodness. I'm one of your hosts, Rich, here from Big Ice Cream Productions, Team RTFC, and that's Crow.
I haven't done that in a while.
The Crow Continuum, yeah.
Yeah, Ed's not here because
Yep.
he thought we might be talking about Home Computer Heroes, and he didn't want to, so...
So he ran away.
Yeah, no.
So,
hey,
yeah.
We've known for a while he wouldn't be here, if you didn't
Yeah.
know. And he won't be here next week either.
Yeah, he's on like a vacay, undisclosed location thing.
For Pete, though... Oh, wait, never mind. Pete just showed up, because I was like...
Me! Hello, me! What's going on? He's just...
I slept in.
He slept in.
Yeah, you got to do that sometimes.
What's going on, Pete?
I literally woke up at 6:30 and I said, screw it, I can go back to bed, I'll be up at 7. And I'm like, oh my god, it's 7:59.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I literally just crawled out of bed. I just said, oh, I should join, I guess, for fun.
Yeah. You come on and hang out with us. That's awesome. It's good to have you. There's Pete, the Ever Canadian himself, and his Roth icon. It's pretty good.
My
Ralph.
So
that's how I feel. I'm grumpy.
So we got a good and interesting show for you. I'm shaking off my my host rust.
Just being here in a while, right?
Yeah,
just being on the Evercast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I haven't been here for a little while, and I'm in the host chair. So what's up with that?
This is the old days. Days. Let's change the password so Ed can't get back in.
He'll come back and be like, "Wait, what's going on?"
Sorry, dude. You've decided to make a change.
So, all right, let's dip in here to the chat. We say hi to to Pick and Duck. What's going on? He's here like a huge amount of time. Like it was like he was here way early. It was awesome.
Yeah, he was here before I showed up, and I showed up an hour ago.
Exactly. We got Nathan Foster saying good afternoon. We got Dan Nastic in the house, channel member, Sucker MC. What's going on? We got iHeart Retro. What's up? Hey, that guy Crow Continuum. He's here.
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah, some dude Bacon Ice Cream Production. I don't know who he is. He's a dude. Going on, Immortal Surgeon. What's going on? Dual channel member, Immortal Surgeon. RMGB TV. Got channel member Guitar Geo 1973. Dan Ruff in the house. Lloyd R. Jim, dual channel member. What's going on? Column.
It's a dual channel member.
Dual channel member. Yes, those two. Lloyd R. Jim and Immortal Surgeon are also members of the Good Times Club.
Immortal Surgeon is also a member of my channel.
So that's a 3. That's a trifecta member. What's going on? That's awesome. All right, Colin Glenn is saying hi. What's going on? He's a channel member. Corny Puddle, and also a channel member, saying what's up, guys. And Mike Hawkers, what's going on? Channel member. Big week coming up. Yes, indeed. As we get into intros here, it is a pretty big week coming up, right? We're gonna find out.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting.
What's going on with that whole alpha thing, right?
Yeah. Yes, Pete, you might have missed it. They're gonna announce what the alpha is next upcoming Thursday.
Yes.
Sweet.
See if I can find that tweet.
I still think it's going to be. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about it. Right. Awesome. Yeah. No, I'm not on Twitter anymore, so I got off Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me see.
I have no idea what's going on in the world.
I saw the announcement on Discord, but I know you probably don't look at.
I don't go to Discord except to Rich's Discord.
Well, that's cool.
And Rich didn't say anything in his Discord about it.
I should probably advertise my Discord a little more.
You should probably go to Discord and chat.
Yeah, right.
Well, if you do, I'm looking at Discord. I usually hang out in the pics and vid section of the Evercade site.
Discord. I don't say much. I'm not much for social media, but yeah.
Yeah. So we got the thing here. All right.
It could be a big disappointing week. Yeah, I think I think you're probably more right than wrong with that.
Well, it being a disappointing week.
Well, I don't think they could. Like, what could they do that makes it awesome? Like, The name itself is weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's got that like definite.
It's got that like 80s lines through the alpha.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep thinking it might be a countercade or something, because old school, right? That's how handheld gaming started back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Those Donkey Kong units and stuff. I have no idea what it is. I still think it's going to be like some peripheral.
Whatever it is, it won't be finished because it's the alpha.
Yeah, that's another weird thing, right? Like, are we going to get beta next year?
Yeah, right.
Yes, beta
or omega, and then be like,
when is the 30th?
Yeah.
Oh,
We released the alpha. Now it's time for the omega, and we're out.
The omega would be the final version.
Yes.
Very interesting.
But yeah, I mean, there's been a ton of different ideas and speculations and all that kind of stuff. I've been talking a lot to some of the people in the community tab over on my channel.
Right.
I mean, everyone's got an idea. You know, they got the countercade idea. They got the arcade stick with an HDMI slot and a cart slot idea. They've got some kind of new handheld thingy. They've got, it's a service or something. They got all sorts of wild ideas.
I got another idea I'm going to throw out there. It's one of those toasters that when you do the toast, it like burns an image of Katie on the toast. That's what I'm
nice. I would do that. I would be down with that. I mean, it is one of those things where I don't necessarily want to have the hype built up too much. I guess because I don't want to necessarily get disappointed, but at the same time, I guess it's one of those things where it doesn't seem like there's a ton of push from the Blaze side, other than the fact that it kind of leaked out there, right? So
now that they've announced, the big push now is announcing when they're going to announce it.
Right. Well, I mean, but do you think this was because of the? Well, actually, if we go back further, do you think the thing about them showing the fact that their alpha existed on the box art was a goof, or was it on purpose?
No, that was on purpose. That had to be on purpose. They knew that was going to be on the box.
Yeah.
When they put those images up, they knew that people were going to find that web page, even though it wasn't linked from anywhere.
Right. So I mean, so this is like one of those like subliminal marketing campaign things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So but I think though, even in that sense though, I don't know if we should have super ridiculous hypes up.
I don't think so.
But you just never know.
Now I'll reserve my hype for when I find out what it is exactly.
Well, and officially, we will find out what it is on Thursday.
Yeah. Well,
1700 BST. Is that
that would be 11. It's 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, so it's probably like noon your time.
Noon. Man, it's perfect. Thanks.
It's like 9 a.m. right?
9 a.m. your time, Pete,
right?
I think.
Yeah. So like the fact that it holds you can plug in a controller to it tells us it's going to be some device that's standalone.
Yeah.
Because why would you plug a controller in to a arcade stick?
Right.
So it's got to be a standalone console, right?
Well,
even if it's an arcade stick, it has to probably, if it is an arcade stick, it most likely will have a HDMI out.
Yeah.
Okay, think about it this way. What if it is an arcade stick, but it is an arcade stick that has an Evercade built into it?
That's what I mean.
And a cartridge slot built into it.
That's what I just said. So
Essentially,
it has HDMI out. So it's going to be a standalone Evercade of some sort. It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like one of those, what are those called? Like they have like 2,000 games on.
Oh, the Pandora's box?
Yeah, one of those Pandora.
Yeah. But but what about this, right?
Yeah.
This is like an example of a licensed version of one of those.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I honestly still think it's going to be a countercade with like 10 slots, like a Egret Mini or a Taito Mini or something like that has a screen and a built-in
screen with slots.
That's the only thing that could get me excited, to be honest with you. If they do
It's
that,
kind of cool.
I'd be over the moon.
A mini console, like with an arcade screen or something. It's just a
Yeah,
mini
like
one?
an Egret Mini or a Capcom, like those little mini consoles.
Well,
How big do
you
you
know,
want the screen though?
yeah, exactly. Because if they did something like that, how would they fit 10 cartridge slots in it?
In the back. They're all empty spaces. They're just small little boards.
How big are we talking about here?
I don't know, probably about 10 inches high, 6 inches wide, like the size of a.
Like an Egret Mini, is that bigger than I thought it was? What about
Egret
these?
Mini is pretty big.
I have a Sega Astro City. Is it? I thought
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
about the
So
same
a
size
little
as
bit
that.
bigger than that. A little bit bigger than that, but maybe not 10 slots, like 2 slots.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Guys, I've been saying that for years, right? That's what I've been wanting. I've been
Yeah.
saying this for years, a countercade. And even if it's a bit bigger and it's similar to the bigger countercades, I'd be over the moon for that. Even if it's a bigger screen, like a 10-inch screen, I'd be over the moon for that.
I would prefer like a 10-inch screen over like a smaller
Yep.
screen, to be
And
honest.
I mean, they can still sell it for $200. Like, I'd buy it
Yep.
for $200, man.
About the size of like the my not the my arcade, the arcade 1-up countercades.
Exactly.
The ones,
That would
yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah, that would be fine.
I mean, I know they're not going to do something that big because shipping and all that kind of stuff. But I
You
can see
never
them
know.
doing
I mean,
a smaller one.
They could do something that big.
I don't know.
You come up with the idea first and worry about how to ship it later.
Exactly. That's the American way and the Canadian way. I don't know if that's the British way, okay?
Many sites have said what Pete just said. So
Yeah, 'cause those many sites are smart, radio. I'm a smart person. I'm more than just a pretty face.
So yeah, I
mean,
mean that's plausible.
My voice
and,
is gone because yesterday I did like this 2-hour stream, so my voice is completely
oh
gone.
man.
Oh, did you do a stream on your channel yesterday?
No, it was for work.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, no, my voice is dead though.
I'd love to be able to do streams for work.
Oh.
That's all I do because I work from home.
Yeah.
I'm still sticking to my prediction. Ian Hobby says keyboard mouse system with a slot in preparation for the arrival of Doom.
A microcomputer? That would sell like gangbusters in England and Europe.
That would be kind of cool. I mean, that would be kind of neat.
Honestly, I don't see. I would just see. They would just need to have keyboard mouse support. That would
Right,
be it.
yeah,
I don't think they would need to do hardware for that.
You wouldn't need to do hardware in order to do the microcomputer thing. You're right, because there's 4 slots on a VS. You just plug a keyboard mouse in there.
Yeah, I think so. So this is going to be a console. It has to be a console of some sort, and it's a Evercade.
What's up?
To be honest with you, like I am completely like the name Alpha is like stupid in my mind. Not because they chose it, because I don't understand what it is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's hard to know the name without seeing the product. So your mind goes all sorts of different places. So
it feels like it's the ultimate troll. They didn't care, or it's going to be the ultimate like, oh my god, this is an amazing name. Like it's going to fall in one of those camps.
Right. Yeah. So
how could they trademark that Alpha?
Yeah.
Well, Evercade Alpha.
Yeah, you'd have to include the Evercade name, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're always right.
So, but no, in the logo, I mean, I guess Evercade Alpha is the registered trademark because it's got the R. But there's nothing
convention-wise.
Nothing.
I think the Evercade VS makes sense because Versus sort of because you got the 4 controller.
Yeah, but they denied Versus for the longest time. That's not what the VS meant.
Remember? But like EXP, what was EXP supposed to stand for?
The experience, right?
What experience?
Expendable.
Expanded experience.
But do you remember when the VS first came out? We all said it's got to be Versus, right? And they said no, it doesn't stand for Versus. Then all of a sudden, everybody called it Versus, and then they all of a sudden.
Yeah, and there's still some people that say Evercade Versus instead of Evercade VS.
They gave up that fight pretty quick, I think.
An AI game blender. No. Well, actually, there was a game that actually did that. Super Mash.
Super Mash.
You guys ever play Super Mash? That was a great game.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was a game where like you played a character that was like working or was a customer in a video game store, and
oh yeah,
you selected 2 different genres of game. like run and gun and
You
RPG.
build your own game and go play it.
Yeah, and then it was
I
like,
had that one.
like, okay, cool. Do you want to make this game? And he goes, yes. And then it just runs this algorithm and then spits out like a whole game with
Yeah, you
like
gotta have
different
quests for
levels
that,
and all that kind of stuff. And then you play the level until you meet the objective, and then you go back to the story and you do it over again.
And you get missions to build certain types of genres of games that are super mashing them about and stuff, and it's like a little single player mode. It's pretty good, actually.
It's a great game. Actually, technically, I would love to have that game if it could fit. I would love to have that.
It would make sense on the Evercade.
We're going that way. It's like Laura Croft has already been on the Evercade.
That's true.
She's in one of the Duke Nukem games. I mean, granted, she's dead, but you know.
Really? Where?
She's like one of the hidden areas. You can find it, and you can see her corpse there. And Duke makes a comment about it. You know.
Yeah. All right, Mike's saying normally all hardware announcements come with some sort of software announcement. If it is Evercade related, what is everyone's favorite arcade titles you think could be joining us? Perhaps more Capcom or /SNK. I mean, if it's arcade related, I mean that would be the time to drop a new kind of big arcade related
new arcade collections, right?
Yep. I mean,
I don't think it'll have built-in games.
No, I don't think they're going to do that again.
Yeah.
So, but that could mean like, or
they might. It just
who would be big?
Sega.
Yeah, that would be a big one. Sega would be big. SNK would be pretty big because they're basically all arcade. Neo Geo would also be pretty big because again, that's probably all arcade. That'd be neat.
That's pretty cool. Like maybe it is computer related because it does look like Crow Shirt.
Right.
It does look like old school computer logos.
I mean, it really does. Like that whole that's all straight 80s.
Those lines. It's crazy, right?
Yep. Yeah, everyone has got like a retro channel now. Has that like that the purple orange looking like logo thing.
Yeah.
That definitely is what it looks like. Like a horizon.
Yeah, one of the horizon things. Like when they did the sun, there's always got the lines in the sun.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see, right?
Yeah,
we will definitely be talking about it on Saturday. That's for sure. And then at least me, like I don't know if Crow or Pete, you guys are going to be doing video reactions or whatever. I'm definitely going to be covering it on that day because they hit me at lunchtime. So I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, it really depends. It's at 11 a.m. my time. I don't know if I'll have meetings or not at that time.
Yeah, I'll be at work, so I probably won't be doing anything.
Yeah, so you guys want some live on the action reactions? Check me out over on my side of the internets. I will certainly be doing something.
I had another idea. What if it's just another recoloring of the Evercade VS, but it's just neon new wave colors,
No. Not after the R. Come on, man. That would be probably the most disappointing thing. As if it was like, oh, hey, we just rebranded both the EXP and the VS, but how about a different look of it?
It's like that would make sense with the Alpha name because it's older. It's an older revision. It's got the neon coloring.
It will probably leak before the news drops anyway, because if it's a product, I can see the leak of the pre-order before Thursday.
Well, it'll happen on Wednesday.
Well, it depends on who has it, but they've been. I mean, it has happened before, but you would figure though, for this particular thing, they'd have it be like, oh well, pre-orders aren't going to start for another week or so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do you think this would be finally the one where they'd be like, oh yeah, here it is. It's the 30th already. It's the end of the month, and you can pre-order it right now. Do you think they drop that?
I'm not sure.
I think they make us wait a week. Or the next day, June 1st, pre-ordered as of June 1st.
They're all over the place, right? When they do this stuff, so it's like you never know what you're going to get. Like if they're going to wait a month for pre-orders, right?
That's right. I forgot. May has 31 days. So you could do it like the next day and still be at the end of the month.
It could be a collaboration with another company too.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Atari bought them.
Right? Yeah, somebody in the chat said that too.
Yeah, maybe Atari just said, we had enough.
Just scooped up everybody.
Little companies out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of though, they've been buying all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I told you, man. Atari buying everyone. Only company doing retro right.
So want to talk about that for a second?
I don't care.
Yeah,
that I did hear about.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone heard about that. That was like a bomb went off
media
in the retro world.
Oh, I read
television.
Yeah. I read specifically, it's not literally everything in television related. It is
correct.
They just bought the rights to the games and the name.
Yeah. Yes. So the Intellivision Entertainment / Intellivision Holdings LLC. There was like 3 or 4 different companies with the Intellivision name. They all had different things attached to them, and Atari bought all of the things that are attached to the classic stuff. So they bought Intellivision, the brand, so Running Man logo, Intellivision logo, all that kind of stuff, and then apparently 200 IP that Intellivision owned in the Intellivision Holdings side of things. That all went to Atari. Now it's weird because how do they have 200 IP?
That's what I was just gonna say. I had no idea that Intellivision had 200. They only produced 142 games.
Right. Well, and technically, some of them weren't like classified as like the physical releases because there's 125 like regular physical releases.
I had no idea they had 200 brands.
Well, I mean, they could have acquired stuff.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line that we're not really familiar with.
Yeah. Well, and some of that could have been some of the later acquisitions to like Moon Patrol and Bump and Jump and some of those other things that they acquired. So, yeah. And then so then what happens to Intellivision Entertainment is, as a result of the purchase, Intellivision Entertainment then rebrands to something. They didn't say what they were going to be rebranding to.
And well, it has to be Amico, right? They're gonna have.
Yeah, they have that's the name that they have, right? So why wouldn't they choose that one? I mean, I don't know, unless there's something else going on. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe this is part 2 or part 1 of this particular thing, right? That all the Intellivision stuff goes over here to Atari, and then the Intellivision team becomes the Amico team, and the Amico team goes elsewhere to another place and then gets rebranded, and then the project goes to another thing, right? Who knows?
I don't know if Amico has a team. Isn't it just John Alvarado right now?
I mean, yeah, it's real small. There's real small there. It's like under 6 people involved in the current day.
I think this whole thing, unfortunately, is just going to instigate a pile of new drama for that Amico stuff, because Atari had to pay something for that. Those 200 brands. And then now the drama is going to start. Okay, where'd that money go?
Right. Yeah, I mean, who knows what happens on that side of things?
Tommy's mortgage.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't know as far as the actual people involved. A lot of people think that there are some people involved that are no longer involved.
Yeah,
I've been involved in a really, really, really long time. So I don't know about I don't know about those people or any of that kind of stuff. A little bit of like disclosure as far as like that kind of stuff goes for me. I help out John directly every once in a while because they're still putting out the games. Yeah. So
he actually is putting out games, which is really cool. Like apparently there's an Amico home that actually works on like Amazon and stuff, and there's actual games there, and if you bought the physical, you can put your code in, you can get your game. Like, that's pretty cool. Like,
that's exactly what I do. I do all that stuff on Amazon.
Yeah.
I like the Fire platform for that because it just works. You load up the app and you have your games and you play them, and it's pretty cool.
No, I've got it on my because I put my codes in to make sure I get my games. And I played it. It's just that I don't play it because it's on a stupid cell phone. I'm not a mobile gamer, but at least now I've got those games on my Fire. But I'm kind of now interested, like switching gears over to the Evercade. Right? It's like now those Intellivision. We already knew. I knew that it was only ever going to be 2 collections because I helped broker that deal between the 2 companies.
Oh, for the Intellivision?
Yeah. I helped broker that deal, and I'm grateful that they put that. Like, I'm always going to be eternally grateful to Evercade and Intellivision for putting that together, because now we can play Cloudy Mountain on the go. We can play a lot of classics on the go on a television. I love that, right?
Yeah, it's
But
very
now
cool.
I'm like, will we get I would love to see another couple of television collections, right? Because there's still a lot of great games. And now that Atari has it, will Atari give them to them? Because there's a lot more in television games than the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean,
well, and the cool thing is, so
Atari owns all that now, right?
Yeah,
They own all those 200 games.
Yeah, bringing it back to Evercade a little. Blaze put out stuff related to the acquisition that day. So they were out on X and on Facebook even, putting out posts. It's like, oh, hey, now that Atari has all this stuff, and this was whatever. What's your favorite games that we already have? Don't forget we already have collections, which I thought was a little odd because obviously all the Atari collections are their legacy. So
their legacy, but only because they're not producing them anymore.
Yeah, because basically, I think they're probably under licensing, getting a license for a couple years. That's it, right? So now they probably just go back to try and say, hey, we'd like some more of your catalog, and now we want your Intellivision games to sign a new deal, right?
So
and that's smart for Atari, anybody who owns stuff, because the price will go up, right?
Right.
They'll say, oh, you got it we gave you the license for 12 games for those cards for $2 3 years ago. Now it's $4 per card. That's the royalty. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
That's how they do it. So, I mean, I actually kind of like the little legacy part about it because, to be honest with you, to be a little bit selfish, the early adopters, we invested a lot of money and stuff into that. So if we ever fall in hard times, we can sell some of these legacies and make some bank.
Right?
Why not? I'm not going to begrudge people making money. Why would I?
Yeah, well, I mean, but for me, it's like, I'm always interested in the next set of, cool experiences that we can all have. So if because of this deal, Blaze, they got their antennae up and they're like, oh, hey, this might be another opportunity to approach and get some more games, and put out some more collections. 100%. Let's go. Let's roll.
Yeah.
I'm all about
trying to go clean up Coleco so we can get a Coleco collection.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're on a spree, like it was Stern, and then it was, what was the other big one that Atari did? There was another 200 titles or something like that they got from somebody, and it was not a huge name in the industry, but they bought somebody that was like, they had like 200 titles or something like that.
Can you think of one of them that was included in that, or?
I mean, I'll try to like search out as we talk amongst ourselves.
Vaguely remembering that.
Yeah. But it was like a weird name. Like the company was a weird name.
And
then of course, they bought Digital Eclipse. And that wasn't an IP acquisition buy. That was a studio buy. They wanted the studio so they could continue to make great stuff like Atari 50. Now it makes more sense. They got Digital Eclipse. They made Atari 50. Now they have all of the television collections. Could we see, because it's another couple of years to it, could we see an Intellivision 50? You know what I mean?
Or Intellivision 200.
Or Television 200, right?
After
the 50th anniversary, so
after Atari 50, they put out the Jeff Minter collection, which I'm waiting for that to go on sale. But
yep. Well, and there's Wizardry. They put out that. They put out.
That was another one, and I saw that pop up. I was like, that's interesting.
They did Karateka.
I played all the way through that one. That was really good.
It's so they're doing this really awesome like museum like archiving of all these great titles. I mean, man, what I would love to see an Intellivision 50. It would be so cool.
They did the Karateka one before Atari 50. Atari 50 was like the second one.
Yeah. So let me see if I could find that thing while we're talking about some other stuff. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Crypto Coffee says hi. He said he got a copy of Intellivision collection. I think it's maybe 1 on sale. Yeah, number 1. It was just number exclamation point. That was pretty cool though. Yeah, Intellivision Collection 1. I mean, if you were gonna recommend between a Collection 1 and Collection 2, if you were just a general fan, I'd say Collection 1 over Collection 2 for sure.
Collection 1, both are great. Like, don't get me wrong, both are great. Yeah. But I think it depends, right? Like I say buy both of them. Buy both of them. They're amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're great collections.
I have one over two, but just slightly.
Yeah, it's not like it's like you don't make a wrong choice. Just read the instruction manual because it's not Atari one button games, right? Like some of them you need a little bit.
Well, some of those Atari games you need to read the manual for too. Like nobody's playing through Raiders of the Lost Ark without reading the manual. Otherwise, you'd never know that you have to use the second joystick controller for that. Looking it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but I mean, I put Atari purchases or Atari acquires. It's all about Intellivision. It's all about this purchase here. Did I do a newsline on it? Maybe I can go back in my thing.
Oh, did Ed show up? Yeah, he did.
Nice. Oh wait. Was it when they did Night Dive? It might have been when they did Night Dive.
Night Dive.
Yeah, Night Dive Studios.
Yeah, that's something I don't think I've heard of.
Yeah, it might have been Night Dive that they also had a whole bunch of other stuff. And when they bought the Stern properties that came with Berserk, Frenzy, and like a couple others too. So it's pretty cool. Oh, see ya, RMGB. What's going on? What's up, Ed? Stopping by to say a quick hi, huh?
Who is?
Ed. He just said hi.
Where's Ed at?
He's on his vacay. He's in an undisclosed vacay location.
You knew that though, right, Pete? That Ed wasn't.
Yeah, no, I meant where is he? Oh, okay, he's on holidays. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, very, very, very cool. Very cool stuff. And eventually, maybe towards the end of the show, I'll figure out what that other giant thing was. It might have been Night Dive though. Atari Night Dive.
Some of the names of these articles are incredibly stupid though. About Atari acquire. It's like Atari acquires Intellivision, ending 45-year console war. It's like no, it didn't work that way. It's not like they.
Yeah.
I think the console war ended when people stopped, when the Intellivision went away. Because
yeah, they're the studio that did the remakes. Night Dive. They're the studio that did the remakes of Doom 64, Quake, and System Shock. So that was just the studio, but no, there was another one. They'd purchased something. I don't know. Atari's just buying too many things. They're just buying everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I would not be surprised at this point. Now, I would absolutely not be surprised if we see another couple months goes by and they scoop up Coleco. And
you think so?
Yeah,
well,
I think so. At this point, why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? Just have the entire second generation just wrapped up.
Yeah.
What?
Who
owns Coleco now? Because it's something I'm not even aware of. I haven't heard anything about Coleco since the Chameleon.
Yeah, after that happened, I think somebody bought them, or one of the people that was on that team had the holding and then went somewhere else with it. And they started doing like fan club stuff, where they were making newer ColecoVision carts. You could do like a mail order kind of thing.
I think it'd be funny if they just went back to making leather products.
Yeah, right. So
if you didn't know, Coleco was that's originally the Connecticut Leather Company. That's what Coleco stands for.
Yeah. Oh no, Dan. Oh man. But yeah, so I think what this means though is, it's just more opportunity for Blaze now to only have to negotiate with one set of organizations, right? Like just go to Atari, get another deal, and get some more of these classic games. Because like I said, they own not just Intellivision, not just obviously the rest of the Atari IP, not just the stuff that they just recently acquired beforehand, plus that other one that was the 200 game one. I mean, they've got a plethora of stuff. So in a sense, they're almost like a Pico. You know what I mean? Like you get in there, and you get some more deals done, and now you have more of these collections that can come out. So and who knows what Atari wants to have them build as, like additional Atari collections, or like split off into those other things. Just have like another Intellivision collection, but on the back of the box you got to put the Atari logo on them and give them some more money. So, Andreas says, is Atari as a company doing well? Where does all the money come from? A lot of it's like, from what I've heard, it's a lot of VC money, and the CEO Wade Rosen is I think he came from some kind of like big business background, and there's money doesn't seem to be a tremendous issue for them. Like obviously, they're just tossing money around, buying things. But I mean, I'm a big fan of what Atari's been doing as far as supporting their hardware. A lot of people don't talk about the VCS a lot, and when they do, they're like, oh, it's that thing, and just it never really took off or whatever. And as a big sales thing, yeah, I mean, it didn't compete with the big three, of course.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever intended to.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely not. But still, to this day, I've got my VCS here, and I've got another one at Studio B, and every week something's out, and I buy it, and there you go.
Well, think about it, because they've been putting out the collections, and people are buying, and they're selling out of Atari cartridges that they're selling for $100 a piece.
Yep.
That apparently don't even work. And
yeah. Well, there was that mistake that happened where two of the carts had a problem or something like that.
Yeah, but they're not going to replace them either.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. I mean, come on, like you should probably do some QC and get that done for the customers. And in my opinion, that's what you should probably do. But speaking of,
a lot of people aren't even going to know, because I think most people never even unwrap those things.
Well, that's true. Yeah, unless they actually had the the knowledge of going into the story and be like, oh well, I'm never going to I'm never going to open these, but now I know because I read the story that the thing.
Well, and then I had Aquaventure, and I had to get a replacement cartridge for them, because what they did was they put the PCB in the cartridge backwards.
Yeah. And it seems, I mean, so yeah, in order to fix it, you have to like break the seal of the.
Yeah, you can't just open it up yourself without ruining the label.
Yeah.
Like the original. That's the only problem with the original Atari cartridges. They never really wanted you to take those apart anyway. So they're like, oh, let's put the sticker over the screw.
Right. Yeah, ColecoVision would be kind of cool. I would play a ColecoVision collection for sure. Like, I mean, but the thing is with Coleco, it's one of those things where you're like, what isn't a licensed title on Coleco that you have to like dual license? You know what I mean?
Pepper 2?
Right. I mean, but it's like, there's not a lot of them. Most of them are all games that exist in other places.
Well, I would say like Cabbage Patch Kids Adventures in the Park, but Cabbage Patch Kids was owned by Coleco anyway. I don't know if somebody else owns that property now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
They probably did, because I seem to remember that got moved kind of early on from Coleco to somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That is a neat thing that's happening.
What's neat? What's neat?
All we need is Retro Dude Carl Young saying all we need is a spinner trackball controller for the VCS. Well, I mean, there is a spinner already. It's on the top of the classic controller.
Yeah, but a real spinner.
I mean,
it works, but come on.
All you gotta do, you just need one of these, man. You're good. You put that on the top, and you got the real spinner right there. That's good.
No, like an arcade spinner, metal one with some weight on it.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm
true.
talking about.
Yeah. Like on the ALU. Yes. Yeah. That would do it.
Yeah,
that would do it. But what is neat is, in typical Atari fashion. Now, this is the only thing that is kind of a knock on them. Like, they'll do big, giant things, right? They'll go purchase people, they'll do whatever, and then all of a sudden, you'll wake up the next morning, or a couple mornings later, and then they'll just stealth launch things on the VCS, like Dark Cavern 2600, because I forgot they bought the M Network stuff too.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of, the M Network stuff. Yeah.
So they So you can play Dark Cavern 2600 right now. It's 99 cents on the Atari VCS store. So that means that it's only a matter of time before they start putting out the ROMs. Like the next week might be Darkstalker period, right? Because they own it.
Wait, let me ask a question with the VCS.
Night
You
Stalker.
would know, you would more than me. Did they stop putting out stuff like digitally, or are they still putting out new games for the VCS digitally?
Yeah, and Dark Cavern is on there right now. It came out overnight.
Okay, so
They just put it
they
out.
could potentially just put out all those Intellivision games on the VCS.
100%. Just put them out.
The only
I mean,
problem
we'll have to
is
do
that,
work on it because obviously there's no Intellivision controller. For
exactly.
The
I was like, you got the numpad, which would be required for a lot of those games.
Yeah, but yeah, you can just get it, and there's been all sorts of different releases. Circus Interstellar came out last week, which is an indie game. It's like I didn't check it out yet, but it's like 18. It's like 16 plus. It's like a super violent game apparently. Agia Trio. Just the other last time I was on Evercast, I was playing Asteroids Deluxe 7800, which came out on VCS that Friday. Lunar Lander Beyond. It's on sale right now actually. That came out on VCS as well as Steam, Xbox, PlayStation. So that was a simultaneous launch.
Oh, that's right. It's probably on sale. I tried to get all those recharge games on the VS, and that's pretty much all I was putting on there.
Yeah, well, they're back on sale too. All the recharge.
Yeah,
games
because
are
of
on sale.
Memorial Day, I should probably look at that.
Yep. And 2 months before we got it on the VS, Block'em Sock'em 7800. Well, actually, I don't think the 7800 version is the one that's on VC on the VS, but Block'em Sock'em 7800 was the one they released on the VCS, which is kind of cool. Guitar Geo says he prefers Dark Chambers. I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. But Dark Cavern / Night Stalker is pretty cool too. It's a different game though, because that's all single screen. Night Stalker is a single screen game. That you gotta go through your levels. It's like it's more like a Pac-Man Berserk amalgamation kind of thing, where Dark Chambers is it's a dungeon crawler. It's I love that game though. That's great.
Dark Chambers, the Intellivision version, right?
No, Dark Chambers on Atari 2600 and 7800.
I'm getting really confused. Are we talking about like the M Network name that's the same?
Oh
as the
no.
Intellivision game?
Dark Cavern. Dark Cavern is the M Network game. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's called Night Stalker on Intellivision. That's why I'm getting confused.
Correct. Immortal. Come on, man. It's Custer's Revenge.
Yes. Are we gonna get a Mystic collection from Evercade?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they'll go that far. Oh my goodness, man. That'd be
Is that
wild.
what the company was? Mystic?
Yeah,
I
Mystic.
feel like I'm
Mystique?
getting it wrong. Mystique, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's wild, man. So that would be something else for sure. But yeah, I mean that's pretty neat. The only thing that's like, oh man, they gotta get back on that. Oh, there's news. But
Well, why hasn't Atari done anything with Pole Position? Because Pole Position is owned by Namco?
yes. That would be why. Yes. That is correct.
Yeah,
they need to wrestle it back from Namco in order to do something.
Wasn't it always Namco? It was never
always Namco.
It was always Namco. Namco's the one that created it.
Yep.
It was just when it came out in the arcades over here, it was Atari that published it here. It was always Namco that owned the game though.
That's right. Yeah. But that's also because of that deal. That's why Pole Position 2 was the pack-in for the 7800. Because I guess they had that like publishing.
Yeah, I mean,
deal or whatever.
That's the thing is that's why a lot of games that came out in the 80s, a lot of people think it was owned by one company, even though it's really a Japanese company. It was just the rights to publish it in the arcades was picked up by another company, and that was the case with Pole Position.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of that whole acquisition kind of thing. And I think now I gotta go over to his channel and see what's going on.
Whose channel?
Ed's channel.
Oh,
You're gonna go over. You're gonna go back to the Evercade Effect because it's probably time.
oh,
to
you
look
mean
at-
the channel we're on right now?
Yes, that's right. You gotta hit up that community tab. Where is it? Is this it? Ed, did you make a? Are you still in the chat? If Ed's in the chat, I was about to go. I was about to go to polls.
Oh, I don't think we need to do that.
I don't know if I don't know if there is one.
Maybe he didn't do one. He was probably like busy packing up, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could be
we got
doing
a
all
poll
that.
from 12 days ago about Pico and C64.
Pico and C64. What was the poll about?
Well, yeah, I'll bring it up. Let me do the presentation.
You're only curious because I know how he feels about the C64 collections.
Yeah, so this week you change it up a bit. The one you pick is more Evercade collections. The one you don't pick will never get any more Evercade collections.
You probably
Existing
talked about
collections
this.
will remain.
We probably talked about this last week, and I just don't remember.
Yeah. Well, we have three C64 collections and 4 Pico collections.
No, but 5. They got Pico
5.
Arcade.
Well, that's right.
Even more than that, because Galco 1 and Galco 2 are both Pico. Even though, I mean, and so all the Jalico ones are Pico.
91 votes. Where do you think? What do you think?
Honestly, I think I remember that Pico won like a lot over C64, and I would just totally disagree with that.
I'm gonna vote for Pico right now anyway.
Well,
and then
you already
79 to 21. You're right. 79% to 21%. That's crazy. What do we got in the comments?
My argument was that is because we keep getting Usin and Epic's games. We need to get other games from other publishers from the C64.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Accolade. It's probably wouldn't be possible, but Electronic Arts I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's plenty of other like First Star Software, which we actually are getting. Because Boulder Dash. Which collection is Boulder Dash on?
Boulder Dash?
Is it on C64 Collection 3?
It is.
I wonder who put that out, because that was First Star Software. I wonder if that's owned by Epix.
Well, so there was another Boulder Dash that just came out recently, right?
I vaguely remember hearing about that.
Boulder Dash Deluxe. So that was
on Steam.
Isn't that BBG? BBG Entertainment, right?
I don't know. I'm gonna look that up. I'm just gonna look it up on Steam. Boulder Dash. 30th anniversary. Boulder Dash Deluxe.
Boulder Dash Boulder Dash is a trademark of BBG Entertainment GmbH. Right on the back of the cart.
What is BBG?
BBG Entertainment. They're the guys that own Shark and Astro Smash now, as well as Boulder Dash apparently, and Dynabuster, which is Bomberman in the UK.
And well, this 30th anniversary is already very old because it's from 2016.
Got it. So, but yeah, so that's how they got it. They got it through BBG. So that's
BBG. Cool. What does BBG stand for?
Well, I don't know. Something.
BBG. I know. I think it stands for in my head. Big ballsy game company.
It stands for we own random things.
It's German, so it's probably Blitzkrieg, Guten Tag. Blitzkrieg, Guten Tag.
Fun times. So, another hint from Alpha. Evercade might be the guest on Super Game Room Dudes Friday night to discuss the Alpha announcement. Is mainly an arcade show. Really?
Yeah, but that would be after the Alpha announcement.
Yeah,
because that's happening Thursday. So
why would they hang out on an arcade show? I mean, they don't really go on other shows. They're not here in the chat either.
Oh, I see. The fact that they're going to be
they're going to be on the chat.
Okay.
That is something actually. So there you go. So yeah, so we might have redone that poll, and it doesn't look like there's another one. So Ed, if you're watching, maybe that's homework. While you're out in your undisclosed location, come up.
Maybe it is like a full size arcade cabinet.
Yeah. Maybe that would be crazy. How about that?
If they did something like that, don't make it like $500, $600. Don't do that.
Yeah, no. Don't do it. No. I can't. My wallet can't handle it. But if there was a full-size cabinet, I would put it in Studio B because I wouldn't have any other room. There's only one. There's only room for one in Studio A. And there it is. I got to turn that on a little more too. I miss that thing. It's sitting right there, but I need to actually turn that on and start playing some more games. Yes, Alpha is in the phonetic alpha. They weren't going to call it Evercade Arcade. Yeah.
That is a good point. Alpha.
Yeah. How many? That's a dangerous question to be asking, Immortal. How many more games can Pico possibly have to put up? All of them. All of them, sir.
Maybe I was going to say something, but it wouldn't make much sense. I was thinking, what if Alpha is just the name to throw people off, and when it's actually announced, it is Evercade Arcade, but they have that printed on the box, so for the controller.
Yeah.
Which, if it was an arcade, then why would you be able to plug a controller into it? I guess if you wanted to use a D-pad instead of an arcade joystick. Because I remember when Tekken 5 came out in arcades. Tekken 5 came out in arcades. It also came out in the PlayStation 2 around the same time. But I very specifically remember the Tekken 5 arcade cabinets having a spot to plug in a PS2 controller, so you can use a controller if you wanted to.
Well, the ALU right here, Immortal saying, if I have an arcade cab, why would I connect a controller to it? So the ALU that I have right here has a USB port for that specific purpose. So you can do 4-player games.
Well, there are specifically games that would play better on a gamepad than the arcade stick. There's not very many of them.
Right.
But like all the games in Duke Nukem Collection 2, I played with a gamepad instead of arcade stick because it wouldn't make much sense to play them with an arcade stick.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I think it'll be a mini arcade. Best to be used as a replacement DEC CPU. Arcade pedestals are on it. One up star arcade tabs. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know what would be really cool though is if it was something like an arcade, right? So here's the other thing. If it is something kind of like an arcade thing, right? That means that there can be more accessories for Alpha, right? So at that point, though, if they go arcade, then now I want it all at that point. Give me
what accessories? I mean,
give me like a steering wheel pedal thing, and then give me a light gun, and then I'm happy. But if you give me a steering wheel pedal thing, and then you do another deal with Atari, and somehow hard driving is not a part of that deal, then I'm out.
Okay, but then you need to have more than one monitor. You need to have 2 more on the sides.
Well, not every hard driving cab had 3 monitors. So.
Okay, and then you have to have the key start ignition.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. They come in a box. It would be the only thing. It would come in the box.
And you say
with the collection, and then you hook it up.
You say not every version of hard driving had the multi-monitor, but I've only ever seen that version.
Oh well, so in I think it's in the intro. It might be in the intro of this show. I'm standing in front of the hard driving cab.
Oh, okay.
That's at Yestercades in Somerville, and it's a single monitor cab. And then there's in the big sit down cab, it's just a big giant screen. But there is the one that has the side monitors too. And that was the one in Fun Spot only had the one big monitor. But I think that was because it was a race driving cabinet and they didn't do the 3-1. But when I was growing up, the one I learned how to drive stick on had 3 monitors, and that was awesome. Love that one.
Wait, when you say you learned to drive stick on, does that mean you like by playing hard driving, you actually learned to drive stick in real life?
Yes. 100%. That is a true story. And the reason it was so I guess it was so effective because it was so close to the fact that I used to drive an old oh man, what was my? It was an Oldsmobile Calais. It was my first car. That was automatic. But I wrecked it by sliding on black ice into a curb, and I just destroyed the axle, the front axle in the car. Not good times. But then my next car was a Volkswagen Fox, and my dad, my grandfather got me the car, but my dad was like really kind of like hesitant to let me drive the car because he knew it was a stick, and he's like, "You don't know how to drive stick." And I'm like, "No, I got it. And I was like, "How do you know how to drive stick? I've never seen you in a car that had a stick. How do you know how to drive?" It's like, "Oh, I play hard driving and on the cabinet all the time." And he's like, "It's not the same thing, son." And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's good. I dropped the clutch twice, just getting used to the fact that it was like, like the physical aspect of like a real moving vehicle. I dropped the clutch twice, and then took him in the passenger seat and drove him around for like a mile and a half after that. And he's like, I don't even understand how this is happening.
Well, it's funny because my dad taught me to drive stick in a really old Ford Escort.
Oh, nice.
And I was incredibly difficult. And I found out like later that he's like, yeah, it really didn't work quite right. But it's like, well, that put me off of driving stick forever. It's because it was so hard. It was like, I don't know, it was like not shifting correctly. And, even though I was doing exactly what I should be, he's like, oh yeah, it's kind of a trouble to it was very difficult for that to work. It was like, well, now I don't ever want to get a manual transmission now because of how difficult that was.
Yeah, it was a cool time, and I'm glad that I had the experience of actually owning a stick car too, because it allowed me to borrow from a friend later on when I needed a car pretty badly. A friend of mine let me borrow his WRX for a while.
Yeah, the advantage of it too is like, it's like, oh wow, can I borrow your car? It's like, it's stick. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, right.
People won't want to borrow your car because it's stick.
Yeah. Oh wow, is that true?
Yeah, I was notified. It's like I was on the channel homepage. And it was like, hey, it's your channel's birthday today. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. And
that's
you
cool.
know why I created my YouTube channel?
Why did you create your YouTube channel?
So I could keep track of which videos I liked.
Oh, that sounds so much like you, dude.
That's very cool.
That was the only reason I created it when I did, because it's like, oh, I could favorite these videos and watch them later without having to find them again.
That's very, very cool. So, Namco Arcade, I don't believe so. No, we didn't get an Namco Arcade collection. There was Namco Museum collection that had like pseudo arcade versions, but they were ports.
Yeah, they were all ports, and part of the reason is because I guess they couldn't get the licensing even for the carts they already had to play on the VS. So they wouldn't come out with arcade ports if they couldn't play them on the VS.
Yeah. If it is an arcade, we need bigger arcade titles too. The collections we have now are good, but missing blockbuster set of games. Unless they pack in Street Fighter 2 again, that would sell it. Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, you need kind of big. What's the big arcade draw besides like a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Well, if they could get Neo Geo, you got King of the Fighters. If we're looking at fighting games,
that would be one that would do it. Yeah, because there's a lot of reverence for that stuff.
And if we have Atari, why not Primal Rage? People like that.
True.
I mean, it's not as popular. And if we're going that far, why not put Primal Rage 2 on it? There's only one cabinet of that exists in the world.
Yeah. That would be
pretty good. I could go play it today if I really wanted to, since it's so close. But
right. So actually, all right. So here's the thing. All right. So let's do another thing about this whole arcade thing. So what would you want the cabinet to look like? Because the cabinets, like, they look behind me on the ALU. They got all the logos, and then there's like the side artwork and like that kind of stuff. Like, what would they do? Would they do like kind of an amalgamation?
That's an interesting thing. Because like the pinball thing, I don't know what is on the side of your ALU.
So it's like an amalgamation. There's Star Wars up top.
Okay.
There's like a Star Wars image from the A New Hope poster, and then the Space Invaders monster, and then the Lion King.
Okay, so it's
And
just
then
a whole
some other
bunch of
stuff.
mix of stuff. Because
Exactly.
the pinball thing I have over here, the AL with a pinball, whatever it's called, that has art from like it's just mixed art from different Gottlieb pinball machines, and it's like
Mhm.
separated. So it's like it starts the artwork from one, and then it's a different piece of artwork, and it's a different piece of artwork.
Yeah.
But like now what they're doing for those pinball, the 4K pinball, is you could choose which design you want on it. So there's one that makes it look like Addams Family. There's one that makes it look like something else. There's one that's like Peanuts related. So do you
Okay.
think that they would maybe do something like that where you choose which one you want, choose which design you want?
I mean, maybe. I mean that gets to them having a little bit more, overhead, because then they got to print all those things.
Or I mean, it could just say Evercade. You could just have
Right.
Katie on the side,
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, right? Maybe they would just lean into their own stuff.
I
Have
think that would
Katie
be
and
the
some of
way
their
to do it. I think that would be the way to do it. That way they wouldn't have to license any additional artwork and stuff.
yeah, like have the whole thing on the sides look like the side of an Evercade card or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Unless it did have built-in games on it, then they'd probably have like that collection,
Right,
something related to that
right.
on it.
But I think though, I think that there might have been a lesson learned with the EXP. I would doubt that if whatever this product is, I don't think there's going to be built-in games unless
No,
it's
I
like
think
the game of the month kind of thing. And
I don't think it's that. I don't think that would stop them from doing it. I don't know why they renamed it EXPR, but they could have just still called it the EXP, just without the built-in games.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I mean, and maybe it was just a cost-cutting thing. Like
Plus, if
for
you
the
have
art.
games already built into it, you're gonna have people all buying. It's like, what good is selling an arcade cabinet if it doesn't have any games on it?
That's true. Well, I mean,
So
it would come with a collection, clearly, though, right?
maybe it would come with a cartridge or something.
Yeah.
But you have to include something, otherwise, people that don't have any Evercade stuff aren't going to buy it to be,
Yeah.
because it's like, what? This doesn't have any games on it.
That's true. Yeah, but what they could do is if this was like the cartridge based and there were multiple slots and all that kind of fun stuff, then you could be like, all right, well, you can get the base one. It comes with one collection or two collections or whatever, and then here's the fun stock version where you get that in the first 4 or 5 collections of the arcade set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then of course you can also have a mixture of any of the others, because they'll play it. The alpha was going to play everything. So
Still though, I don't know. I still have a hard time believing it's going to be an arcade cabinet, just because of like how much it would probably cost.
Yeah, that's
and they haven't put out anything close. And Evercade's supposed to be affordable. So why would they put out something that most people wouldn't be able to afford?
Right. And even the VS itself is kind of portable. It's small. It's nothing. You don't have to like worry about shelf space too much for the VS. You just walk around with it too. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Yeah, that's true. If the hardcore is flipped out with the built-in games, what do you need to do to have Pac-Man built in or Street Fighter? I'd still go for it. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind a built-in. I just don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Blaze is going to do it again, because like if they get into a thing where all of a sudden they have to go away again, then if those games have to go away, they could run into a Polymega situation, right, where they have to keep re-licensing the pack-ins because maybe it ran out or something like that. So, and you don't ever want to have a situation where, oh, I bought this thing and then I get an update and then my update takes all my games away, because people got real mad about that. So
yeah, how did that happen even? Because that's the first time I ever heard of like the games being taken away.
Yeah, it was the first time that I ever heard about it too. But I mean, it's not like it. I mean, it definitely happened. Those games went away when you put in the new firmware. So I was like, oh man, that's wild.
It's like you buy it, you have the games on it. You don't expect that stuff to just disappear. It's like what you like.
Right.
People buy it for the games. And then they just
Exactly.
get taken away. How does that happen?
Right. So yeah, and we're still waiting for the update, by the way. It still hasn't come out yet. The update that brings them back. So I think secretly they're just waiting for me to do my Super Fun for 5 and finish the rest of the games.
I see. So it's your fault.
It is my fault. Because then I'm going to be like, I'm going to do my video. I'm like, oh, here's my update. And then I'm going to update it, and the games will still be there. I'll be like, oh, they got me. That's funny. I think the marquee will say Evercade, and the sides will have the mascot. Yeah, I would rock Katie on the side of an Evercade like arcade cab for sure. It's just like it's such a cool mascot.
I just don't believe it's gonna be a full size arcade cab. I can see a mini one. I can't see a full size one.
Yeah,
I think it would just cost way too much for them to put it out.
All right, so it is time, at least for me, to consider flying away to the next destination, which for me is taking the boys to get haircuts. But before we go,
exciting day, huh?
It is, yeah. Well, and then we get to hang out because Danae's going out to go see her friend over in Pennsylvania. So it's just me and the boys after that. I think I'm actually going to take them to like mini golf in the driving range. Just hit some balls around.
I need to go to the batting cage. I haven't been to batting cages in forever.
Yeah, it'll be cool. It's a nice day. It's going to be a little bit warm, but it'll be all right. And then, I heard as we get into final thoughts, somebody told me that in the Commons Mall around where I live, they opened a Toys R Us in it.
I heard something about Toys R Us is coming back,
and I didn't believe it. So that also might be on the agenda today. So if I find it, I think I'm going to put a picture of
They're
it.
Pop-up stores. They're pop-up stores.
It's that's pretty wild. Like, what's in them though? Like,
I don't know.
I'm guessing toys.
We've got Toys R Us up here, but they just closed the one that was only 10 minutes, not even that, 2 minutes from my house. But I got to drive now 20 minutes to Toys R Us, which sucks.
I mean, is it cool stuff in there? Like, do they have like just generic toys, cards, video games, like that kind of stuff, or?
Probably. I mean, you'd have to go and find out exactly.
Yeah, I'm curious. I gotta I mean, I used to work for them, so like I'm envisioning stuff that probably isn't going to be a thing, but that would be cool to like walk in there and have like all the different departments and see all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, if that exists, me and the boys will find that out too today. That's going to be on the agenda, as well as a trip possibly to Retro Classics in Somerville to see if I can get them to resurface a PS3 game. So
which game?
3D Game Heroes.
Oh yeah, I had that at one point.
Yeah, it's a cool game, and it's the only one of, I want to say we're up to 20, 30 maybe, that we started taking out of the cases in my from like the flood, and we started cleaning off all the games, and every single one of those discs except for that one works flawlessly, which is wild. Just a little isopropyl alcohol, just clean off the top, clean off the bottom, boom, boom, boom. It's good. Yeah. It's awesome. So,
well, if anything, discs would be most resilient to water because they're not really going to get damaged.
Yeah, they're just like plastic and all that kind of stuff. You just got to get all the gunk off.
Yeah, they're not gonna rust. They're not gonna,
Yeah. Oh, so nearly 30 full-size Toys R Us stores have been greenlit to open before December. Right now, I have to go to New Jersey for full-size. Yeah, well, so that's where I'm at. I'm in New Jersey. I don't know if there's a full-size yet. Like, if there is one, it's probably an American Dream. That's what I would say. It's like, if they're going to put something like that somewhere, it's probably an American Dream, which is next to the MetLife Stadium. But yeah. So that I'm gonna investigate that pop-up. Also, what's up, Rob? How's it going? Right there for the end. So anyway, what else does everyone else have for their channels?
Well, I got my. Well, go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
I don't have a lot actually. I got a deck video. I'm going to be doing my Pico Collection 4 on the Evercade this week. So yeah, pretty chill over here.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's funny, the Steam Deck. I started thinking about buying one, and I'm like, when would I ever play it? And, you know.
Yeah, I love my Steam Deck.
But yeah, I finished Duke Nukem Collection 2, so I put up a video of that earlier this week. I'm in the middle of this one. I finished Witch and Whiz in like no time flat, so I'm playing Good Boy Galaxy.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what your thoughts are on that when you finish it up.
Good Boy Galaxy?
Yeah.
I'll give you a sneak preview. I'm probably gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Almost a 10 out of 10, but there's this slight problem I have with it, but it's not that, and it's just me probably, but still, I don't think I could give it 10 out of 10.
That might be. Oh man, I might have to dip in there.
It's a very well made game.
Yeah.
It's got way more animation in it than you would think a game like that would have.
Very cool.
Like there are fully animated cutscenes in that game.
Really? That's awesome. That's very, very cool. All right, so I gotta check that out for sure. And then as far as over here goes, we're gonna be checking out Dark Cavern 2600 because it is a new game, and I was looking for a new release to do on that. We just did an older game. I went to do some cleanup because there were some games that I missed along the way. I don't know how I missed them, but there were games that I haven't done a Fun for 5 yet on the VCS side of things. So we're going to be doing that too to clean all that up. We're still slotting that Super Fun for 5. That probably will happen this week because Ed's still out, so there's no card. So I probably will do some live streaming. So one for the Super Fun for 5 for the Polymega, and then another one for Phantasy Star. We're getting some more Phantasy Star goodness on there. And then of course, we're going to slide some Evercade goodness in here because of course Thursday I will definitely be doing a reaction for the alpha. We'll find out what that is, and then we'll see you right back here next week where all three of us can talk about what it actually is and whether or not we'll be pre-ordering or did we do it already or any of that stuff.
I just think the whole thing's hilarious that Ed has decided to take his vacation.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
Just drop the
right
alpha
in the middle of when this is coming.
I do. I feel bad for him because I know, like right now, he's like, "Oh, come on."
Because depending on where he is, he might not even be able to make a video for it.
I know. Yeah, it's rough. That's a rough situation. But anyway, thanks everyone. Thanks all the chat for hanging out with us and watching.
Bye everybody.
Yeah, what's up?
I said bye everybody.
Oh yeah. And then we'll see you next week. So that's about it. Thanks everyone for hitting the buttons here on the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the like. Join the channel. He's got all sorts of different members, man. This guy's going crazy. Ed's got an army. So go on and hit the join button and join that in there. And like I said, we'll see you next time right here on the Evercast. See ya.
Thank you, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, and Sucker MC!